Guys, this is my privilege to bring up our next speaker, Joe. Sean has been talking about Joe for the last 2 days. This gentleman literally went from making $300 grand a year to now pushing $5 million. Who wants to learn from that? Hell yeah. You guys got to give this man a lot of love. Get on your feet again. Get on your feet. He is an investor. He is not a speaker, but he's going to give you everything he's got. Let's bring up my man, Joe Taylor. Let's go, baby.
All right, here we go. Let's get him.
Let's do it.
Ah, man. What a room. Am I on? Can you hear me? All right. So they asked me to come out and do an hour presentation. What the hell about? I got 45 minutes on the clock, so we're going to go quick. I got a lot of stuff to go through. If I go too quick, well, you're going to have to take good notes. All right? So the last 20 years I've been in this business. I've wholesaled and flipped over 2,000 plus houses in the Portland metro area. I've renovated well over 700 of those houses, and I'm currently also adding in a new custom home model that we've done, probably another 15 houses so far in the last 2 years. That is my experience in this industry. It's not working there. From 2004 to 2010, I was the largest foreclosure buyer in the metro area in Portland. We were also the largest wholesaler at the time. I was pretty much just I partnered up with some guys that had more money, or that had the money, and with that came my role. I was just a hard money placement guy. You guys have there's a lot of guys from Arizona here, right? You guys have a lot of bidder services here, right? That's pretty much what it was for about 6 years. 2006, that business venture went tits up. Done, over with. Partnerships blew up. We had a lot of corporate guys in there. We had attorneys, all big salaries. We were in 7 different territories: Utah, Portland, Arizona, Texas, a couple others. At that point, I went on my own. Started a new venture with just a new partner, same business model, 2006 to 2008. Again, buying at foreclosures, wholesaling deals out. We partnered up with a local lender at that point in time, and he would fund all of our buyers. 2008, that business venture blew up. See a pattern here? This particular time, this guy stole $2 million in cash from me. Yep, he transferred properties over. I started with nothing again. 2009, guess what? Same venture, new partner. Guess what happened to that? He attempted to steal a bunch of money on his way out the door, but he wasn't able to. I learned from my past experience, we were able to stop him. 2012, the Oregon foreclosure laws were changed. They went from judicial to non-judicial. You guys know what that difference is? Judicial foreclosures they have a redemption period. Non-judicial foreclosures, it's 120 days in Oregon, and they can sell the property. So a 4-month window to now you get to play a takeaway game. I didn't want to play the takeaway game. I don't want to go spend a bunch of money, because in Oregon it's all cash at the sale, and have my competitor come back and take the property 3 weeks, 3 months later, whatever the case is. They have up to 6 months. So I had to change my model. I was really struggling in 2012 to 14 with this change. This whole period of time, I was a one-man show doing it all. How many in here are like that? Quite a few of you, huh? How's that feel? Exhausting, right? Exhausting. I was doing marketing, answering the phones, just like you guys, running leads, making all the offers, scheduling inspections, following the contracts, selling all of them. And I also rehabbed between 80 and 110 houses those years. Coincidentally, I had a daughter who I didn't get to see grow up for the first 2 years because of this. I also did interior design work on all those rehabs. Frustrated, overwhelmed, overworked. Anybody relate to this? No time for kids, family, fitness, life, right? Anybody relate? Hands? All of you? None of you? And then something was ripped out of my life. My father passed away 10 days before his 60th birthday. Completely unexpected. He had no health problems. Mom came home from work. She found him dead on the floor. He actually had called me at 2 o'clock that day. They figured he passed away at about 4:40. He was supposed to come over, and I was too sick. I had the flu, and it was coming out both ends, if you will. It wasn't pretty. And I couldn't talk to him because I had to go to the bathroom. And I missed that opportunity. God changed my life forever. He changed my kids' life. They now have no grandfather. They never will have a grandfather. 90 days after that, I realized that I needed a change, man. It's like a lot of you guys can relate to that, I bet. Doing it all, it's not going the way you want. Needed a change. I realized I'm not going to live forever. I wanted my life back. I wanted my time back. I wanted everything, including my freedom, and I didn't want to struggle anymore. You guys relate to that? I also wanted a shortcut to speed up my results because I knew I was destined to do this damn real estate thing. Who can relate to that? You can feel it, right? It's in your bones. You know that you're not going to give up on this. You want it. 2016, I was in the business for 16 years at this time, and I finally hired my coach, Sean. You guys heard him earlier talk about me coming down and vetting him out, and just to clear a couple things up, because I told him I would, wherever he's at. It was $50,000 I paid him. And I think I also wired in an extra $1,000 in the beginning that was supposed to get refunded, so I'm still waiting for that refund. And I'm charging interest. Yeah. Yep, there you go. It's coming. Same to that refund. So I hired Sean, and it really changed around. Within 6 months of getting what I needed from our coaching, within 6 months, I hired 2 sales guys. Right? Hired my leads manager, hired a phone person, had to fire a few people in that period of time too. I got 1 CEO who does not only bookkeeping, she does my marketing, she does my HR, she deals with my headaches, she does everything I don't want to do, and I pretty much don't see her anymore, but because she probably hates me. I also generated $1.6 million in wholesale fees in that 6-month period. Who here that would change your life? Anybody? Who's taken action to change their life? There you go. Last year, I generated $2.8 million. See a pattern? By the way, there's no business partners anymore. That's the pattern, right? Last year, I missed my goal of $3 million. My goal was $3 million. I set it at $3 million, and I missed it, 2.8. I guess that's a successful failure, right? This year, we're on pace to hit $5 million in wholesale fees. That's in 1 market. That's with 4 acquisition people, 2 phone people, and 1 CEO. And ask me how much time I'm in the business. On a weekly basis, maybe 2 to 3 hours, if I want to be. That's what scaling's done for me. So I imagine you guys want to know how it was done, right? What's the secret sauce? What's the secret formula? You want the sauce? Okay, I'll show you. Let's go. First of all, you can't do it on your own. You absolutely have to scale this business building out a team. You don't have the time for that? Hire yourself or fire yourself. Hire somebody that does. Right? You got to leverage those people. You got to know who's your first hire. How many of you guys are solo real estate entrepreneurs in here, right? Working daytime jobs too? Yeah? A couple of you? You'll get out of that quick because you're going to be limited if you don't get out of it. You got to know when to hire. You got to know your job roles, their responsibilities, accountability, what it means. What else you need to know? Not that was it, but here comes a whole bunch of other stuff. You need KPIs. You need to know your cost per lead. You need to know your leads per deal. You need to know your CRM, your lead management systems, response rates on your advertising, all of your campaigns, the right list to hit for advertising. How to advertise correctly. Anybody doing fix and flips? I do about 50 a year. I currently wholesale around, last year we did about 100, this year we're probably about 150 wholesales. So, excuse me. So on the fix and flip models, you're going to have to learn how to get the deals consistently. Again, I use the wholesale model as my key business to create my inventory. I cherry pick the best deals I possibly can. You got to know what your costs for renovations are going to be, including the new build models. You're going to have to figure out time frames for your work to be completed. You're going to have to pick out general contractors that work right with you. Time frames and plans, permitting, hidden costs associated with all this good stuff, right? CRM for dealing with your subcontractors, and material prices, which are constantly moving around. Anybody relate to this that's fixing and flipping? Have you ever hit your budget? Ever? I've done over 700 houses, and guess what? I haven't either. No, you're not the only one. You're not the only one there. So here's a snapshot of the wholesale model. What's the ratio of people in here that are doing fix and flip or wholesale? Wholesale, raise your hand. Or that want to do wholesale, raise your hand. And fix and flip. And anything else? Rentals, any of that good stuff? Okay. There you go. That's another. So the wholesale model for me is, as you guys can see by the tiered chart here, there's a visionary and an implementer. That's me. Right? My CEO, Joanne, she pretty much is right below me, and she basically runs my company for me, all three of them, if you will. At the time, we had 3 sales guys. We actually have 4 now. We have 1 leads manager and a backup leads manager who's also a transaction coordinator. She bounces back and forth between the roles, right? And then we have 1 disposition guy that sells all the inventory. My role is management, develop new revenue streams, find new marketing ideas, build relationships and JV partnerships. That's what I do with my time. Joanne's job role, it's a whole lot more than mine. She's not going to see this video, by the way, is she, Sean? Her role is she comes up with new products, finds new marketing avenues because she's my marketing coordinator. She also helps build some relationships with JV partnerships. She signs all my docs. She assists with difficult situations with the buyers, and if they can't be resolved, then she brings them to me. She handles some of the legal aspects of it. She does all the contracts for us. She deals with partnerships, raising capital. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Joanne, that's Joe still. Sorry about that. There we go, there's Joanne. So Joanne's tasks and roles is she's responsible for accounting, reporting. She manages all of our staff. She manages the marketing campaigns, all the accounting that we do on all 3 platforms, wholesale, renovations, and new builds. She does all of it. Reporting, she does all the revenue reports for current, last, upcoming weeks, so we know where we're at all times. She tracks all the monthly reporting, payroll, HR, quarterly and annual numbers she's responsible for. Pipeline reports, stats for the wholesale business, all the metrics and KPIs, all marketing metrics, stats, income, expenses, employee tracking, and onboarding and hiring and firing of them. Who wants Joanne's job? You guys find yourself a Joanne, your business will take off. Overpay your Joanne, you will never have headaches again. Joanne's on a salary of $60,000 a year, and she gets 1% of the net profits that the company makes at the end of the year. Right? She actually came over. Joanne was an accountant for a restaurant, and she was looking for a change. She's actually best friends with my fiance, and so my fiance was in there pushing. Give her a try. I don't like to hire friends. So I hired her, and so far she's been with us since 2010. So Joanne works out pretty good. Except for this week, she's on a 10-day vacation in Hawaii and won't answer my phone calls or my text messages. So we're going to have a talk next week. My lead managers are my workhorses in the business. They really are. I got Jeanette. She takes all these incoming calls. She manages our Podio system, sets sales reps appointments, sends offers, sends the thank you cards. She does a lot of follow-up with our probates and everything else that we market to. She wanted $1,000 a month. Yeah, full-time, $1,000 a month. I forgot to tell you guys, I run a virtual office. I don't have any office overhead. Everybody that works for me works out of their house. I meet with them one time a week on a Monday morning between 9 o'clock and noon. Who wants that? Is that the dream? Could be. Could be your dream. She also does all the reporting that the team deals with on all the leads, the number of people she speaks to, number of emails that she sends out. We make her talk to 200 people a week at a minimum. And if she hits her goal, she gets to pull out of the prize pool, which is a great thing. Thank you, Sean, for that, wherever he is. And then I got Janelle. She's a backup lead manager. We actually pay Jeanette $2,000 a month, not one, just so you guys know. She loves the job. She loves to talk to people, and she's phenomenal at it. Janelle, so she manages the transaction. So when my guys get a property under contract, she will turn around and she handles everything at that point all the way through dispositions. She works with our disposition guy so the ball is not ever dropped. She also takes buyer calls after hours. She updates our database on our whiteboard and keeps everything running smoothly through that process. Her reporting is in aspect to all of the closings that we consistently have, number of the contracts that are coming in, assignments that are going out, number of people that we make her speak to on a weekly basis is right around 100. That's also part of our follow-up system. Both these girls are following up with people constantly, manually doing it, not dropping voice blasts like a lot of you tech guys out there, because we run things simple. Simple, Josh. My sales reps, they're pretty boring. We have 4 of them. This is their jobs and roles. So basically, their job's to build rapport, get contracts. You guys know the routine there, right? No? Yes? You guys awake? Do I need to get you up jumping like Justin did? I was watching you guys over here. You're wearing me out. So my sales guys are great. I have 3 of them right now that are in Portland, and I have one that's running the metro area. They're running about a 1-7 ratio on contracts. About every 6.5 to 7.5 appointments, they're getting a contract. My average contract is approximately $42,000. As Josh will tell you, he's selling me one in Portland for $40,000. Wrong address. I have a transaction coordinator, Janelle. I kind of briefly talked about her role already. She does a lot of stuff for us. The dispositions and transaction coordinating, all of it from the time we get a contract all the way through. That looked like a duplicate slide. Oh, then I have, my one disposition guy, him and Janelle team up together. So I have one disposition guy that sells inventory for all 4 of our sales guys. I'm trying to follow this. Fix and flip model, here's a snapshot of it. Again, there's a visionary, implementer. That's me. Joanne, she's the CFO again. I got 4 project managers under me. They all deal with every headache on a rehab, and the interior designers they work with, and then we sell them through realtors on the remodel side of things. I don't deal with any renovation headaches. I show up on the job one time in the beginning, I write out the scope or give the project managers the scope of work, and I show up about a week before it's time to stage. They manage everything else. We do about 50 of those a year. So my project managers in this model are my workhorses. They deal with all the headaches that are associated with renovating, which, as you guys know that are doing it, they're nonstop, day in and day out. I don't get bothered with that at all anymore. Nobody calls me because the cleaner didn't show up. Nobody calls me because the electrician screwed up a light, nothing. Then we have an interior designer that they all work with. You know, they walk through with me in the beginning, get the game plan, they pick out all the hard surfaces and colors and pretty little bells and whistles that go into this. And they even stage the property when it's all done. Here's a few of the shots that we've done. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. And we listed through a realtor. You guys know the realtor's roles, right? Right? Anybody? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Making sure you guys are awake. I know I'm not no Justin Colby up here, and I don't sing and dance. This is an actual snapshot of the growth of my business. This is from lead flow from 2015. Note that I hired Sean in March, and I came back in April and started implementing it, right? Here's a snapshot of it in 2016. Here it is, current year. We are currently sending out 50,000 mail pieces a week. Not very much. We're also doing a bunch of pay-per-click advertising and some other stuff. Here's a comparison of my closings from 2015 to the current year. 2015, we did 46 deals. Remember, that was in 6 months. 2016, we did 90 deals. 2017, we already have 77 in the pipe. Some of those are still to close in May, June, and September. Yes, my guys like to sign contracts with people 2 years out sometimes. Yeah, don't ask me why a seller would want to sell it to us. We got it tied up in 2016 with a 2018 closing date. Guess what the market's done in Portland since they've done that? Yeah, and we got it at 350. It's probably a 500 house, and I think it's probably appreciated up to right around 6.25 by now. So, right. Lead sources. 220 leads in 2015. 1,032 in 16. 694 so far this year. Those are my top producing lists by year. Take a picture now. It might not be up there. Everybody got it? So I'm sure you guys want to know where I find my inventory. No? Yes. Should I just give you guys that, or? Yes. 90% of the properties that I get into don't fit the model that I'm after. So what's the ideal marketing list, you ask? Right? Right there. Everything that starts with a D. And Kent and Sean, I'm trademarking this to Joe Taylor, 2017, the list of the Ds. Here we go. Death, divorces, drugs, disabilities, distress, defaults, digital, disasters, debt, delinquencies, dog shit. You guys know what those are, right? You've bought those. I'm sure somebody in here has bought that. Demographics, direct mail, dumb, and a lot of data providers. That is where I get all of my inventory, guys. Every single one of them. That's the 5 to 10% that I'm after. Everything else, I don't want. I don't even waste our time with it. Any questions? You have to ask them. They have it. All right, so I'm done. Go ahead. The clock says I got 20 minutes, so you guys can just start drilling away.
All right. With all of the lead sources that start with D's, do you hire someone to specifically go talk to the title companies and look at the humane records and all that?
So we get a lot of the lists from title companies. You just have to know the parameters that you're going to, just like any other list you go out to set up to buy from a data service provider or anybody, you just have to know what you're getting from them when you design that list from them. So like we use, senior lists, we do reverse mortgage lists. In Oregon, there's only three companies that did reverse mortgages in Oregon. Every state's different, right? So you figure out who those 3 lenders are, and you go to your title company and pull every reverse mortgage that was done in the last 10 or 12 years. It's a niche list. I'll give you guys a little piece of advice on the reverse mortgage. Most guys aren't working them. You know why? Anybody? You know why? Anybody? No, because you guys all pull your list based on equity. Guess what happens when they record a deed of trust on a property, on a reverse mortgage? It's up here, because they're forecasting it out 20 years. So nobody pulls that because why? It looks over encumbered. You look at the recording date on those, guess what happens? You're going to find stuff in the last 3 to 10 years that hasn't matured yet. So most people won't even market that list. You got a niche list that nobody's hitting. Been hitting that thing for 3 years. We've had probably 15 houses given to us by seniors because they want out. They think the reverse mortgage thing's great, but guess what? They didn't realize they had to pay the taxes and keep those current. They didn't realize they had to keep the property maintenance up on the property. They just thought they were going to live there, the bank was going to pay them, life was going to be great. So yeah, $1 down, take it over. We got one that we just took over last week that there's $100,000 in equity on it. We're just going to take it over. We transferred the deed and we just listed it. Got it for $330 and it's worth $479. So, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I have bought multifamily properties up there. The biggest one we bought was a 120-unit apartment complex in Oregon City. Bought it at a foreclosure auction about 10 years ago. It fell down the hillside last year. I know that. Yep. The cost of construction when we bought that, they dropped the bid. I want to say the debt was $14 million. They dropped the bid down to $1.5 million, and we got it for $1 over. We JV'd with a guy who turned around 30 days later and sold it for $3.5 million. He turned around, renovated the property, sold it for $10 million, and then last year it fell down the hill. They had a lot of distress around that one. Yeah.
So, yeah, all right.
there you are.
Yeah, here I am. So when you met with Sean and you were in his office and you were going from where you were doing everything to figuring out how were you going to scale your business, what was your first hire going from where you were to?
My first hire was Joanne. At the time, Joanne was my leads manager. Right? So I needed somebody to do the accounting for everything, so she was kind of duplicating those roles. Brought her in. She started answering the phones. I realized real quick that Joanne doesn't like to answer phones. Obviously, she's still in Hawaii and won't answer my phone call. So we ended up, the real first hire outside of Joanne was our leads manager. And then very quickly after that, I realized that I didn't want to go on sales appointments anymore, so it was a sales guy. And my sales guy, and you can get away with this in Portland, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to get away with this, but my sales guy that we hired had a DUI, so he had no driver's license. So he would pedal his pretty little bicycle from appointment to appointment. And he actually got deals, I'll give him that. Portland, you can get away with that stuff because it's weird. Very, very weird. Yes?
You mentioned that you send out about 50,000 mailers a week, which is a lot. I'm just curious, what's the total cost for something like that if you include postage and...
I think majority of what we send is postcards. I think we're at 34 or 36 cents a piece, and that's a question I can't answer because Joanne has all those metrics. I don't keep track of it.
Yeah, got it. Okay, thanks.
Joe, you had mentioned you made 1.6 the first 6 months after working with Sean. How much were you spending in marketing, and did you have that money set aside and just dumped it in, or did you gradually or progress?
So every year, you guys hear? I'm sure you guys have all heard Sean talk about your January letter. And anybody ever done EOS traction? I pre-plan out my years, and at the end of the year in December, I pre-plan everything for the year. So an example of this year is my marketing budget's almost $600,000. And I take that marketing budget and I divide it up what it's going to take for the whole year, and it just goes out consistently. Does that answer your question?
So you had the money.
Back then, it was still a cash flow game. I was, again, rebuilding. My marketing budget back then, I think we were sending out about $5,000 or $6,000 worth of mailers. And I don't know how much volume that is. We were sending out, as far as postcards or letters, we were sending out that dollar figure amount, and we were also doing digital advertising like pay-per-click that first year. And I think our budget was right around $7,000 or $10,000 for the year that year.
Oh, okay. So for 6,000 to 7,000, you were able to make 1.6 million?
My margins are $42,000 on average, and I do have $200,000 and $300,000 wholesale deals quite frequently.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So my question is leads management. You're dropping 250,000 letters a month. You're rocking the PPC. You have, from what I understand, 2 reps on the floor. Is it 2 or 4 reps, sales reps?
4.
4 sales reps. How are you prioritizing the influx of leads on priority to make sure they're going out on qualified appointments with that large of lead volume?
We're shoving our sales guys out because they have the time to go out to 15 appointments a week. So 3 to 4 sales guys are running on average 15 appointments a week. So I don't care if they don't think it's a deal. They need to go out there because they're learning, they're training themselves, and that's what I require of them. 13 minutes left. Let's go.
Yeah.
Chelsea running.
I have 2 questions. How much you paying your sales reps?
My sales reps get 10% of the deal.
That's it?
That's it. My disposition guy, he's incentivized by if he brings in a new buyer, he gets 10% of the deal. If he brings in or sells to an old buyer that we sold to before, he gets 5%. Oh. So that incentivizes him to go out and find new talent. One of the best things I've ever done in my business to increase my margins was hire him. Because like most of you guys who can probably relate to this, you got a good network of 10 guys that are going to buy from you, right? I guarantee you there's somebody in your market that's going to pay way more than those guys. You just haven't found them yet.
How'd you speed up the learning curve, hiring all these people and going from no employees to, contractors or project managers and training everybody? Because
well, I did the rehab stuff a long time ago. We've always done the rehab stuff. So that model's just kind of been the same ever since, but we've really smoothed it out since like 2012 when I started getting out of it and I realized I needed to leverage people on that side of it because I couldn't do 100 houses a year again. It was killing me. Does that answer your question?
You bring in a sales rep. How'd you train that guy?
The first sales rep I came in, he went on appointments with me for about 2 weeks and I just turned him loose. The second guy went on appointments with him for about 2 weeks, and we turned him loose. At some point, the lead flow just kept coming in. I had to send them out, and they had to get to work. They were going to eat or they weren't. They were going to die. So it was up to them to go out and do it. Luckily, I've ran into 3 great people. Right now, I have 3 phenomenal sales guys. They have great rapport building ability, and they just convert and close. They're 1 in 6.5, and one's at 1 every 7.5 contracts, and another guy, the newest guy's at 1 in 9. We also don't just offer one option. We offer multiple options. We do a lot of, we will do owner financing, we'll do wraps, we do land sales contracts. The last thing we do is kick them to a realtor. We monetize those at 50% on everything we send to the realtor. So, yes?
So I know you said that you do it virtually with your team, but you guys are basically in the same area though? It's local, but you choose to do it virtually?
We work a 2-hour radius around Portland.
Gotcha.
So Mount Hood to the coast, from Longview down to Salem.
Gotcha. And so when you're training them, you're face-to-face because I have a virtual team, but they're in a completely different state. And so my acquisitions, my sales, whatever, would you suggest I be over there and for the first few weeks of their training, I should, if I decide to go retrain or whatever, I should be there for that amount of weeks to train them, go with them to the appointments, et cetera?
Well, your salespeople are only going to be as good as their training.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if that's the people you're talking about that you feel like you need to train as those acquisition people,
Yeah.
There's lots of courses out there that you can put people into that will do that for you if you don't know how to do it or don't have the time to do it. I was one of the guys that I thought I was good, but the guys I hired were way better than I was. So, and that was a big lift in the business as well. It frees up a lot of your time and allows you to do what you should be doing, which is growing it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. What's that? There's a lot of people you can hire. The one that we're using right now is John Martinez, our Midwest Revenue Group, I believe. Is that the name? Yeah.
So when leads come in, you have your lead manager is the first point of contact, and then after that, she passes the deal off to your sales reps?
Yeah, so she'll book the appointment as the lead comes in, if she's able to, immediately. And
Okay.
having 4 people, we have availability pretty much within the next 7 days. So her goal is to book 60% of all the leads that come in on appointments. If she misses that goal, we smack her on the hand. If she successfully hits that goal, then she gets to pull out of the prize pool every week. And she's consistently hit that goal at 60% plus for the last 3 months.
Okay, so your sales reps are the guys who build the rapport with her, with the seller, and not the lead manager.
Well, it all starts with that initial phone call. So we do a lot of stuff a little bit different. When we gather the information on the sales lead, we're sending them out a credibility kit and an email and a confirmation of the sales guy, what he looks like in a picture automatically. Click of a button. It's this sales guy, 4 o'clock on Friday, boom, it's on their email. Done. Step 1, I'm already ahead of the competition, right? Stand up if you got a mic. I can't see you. Lights bright.
Did you? Are you paying your sales reps salary plus bonus, or just
My acquisitions?
bonus? Yeah.
Nope, 10%, straight commission. That's it.
Okay.
My top sales guy last year, I think he made almost $200,000. Not bad for a part-time job, right? 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week. No risk, no liability. Show up, drives my company car, wears my company shirt. Pretty good gig. Who wants that? I'll hire you. Come on. Stand up. I can't see you guys.
Is there a certain background that you look for when hiring acquisition reps?
My acquisition guys, yes, no real estate. Train them in the real estate aspect of it. Hire somebody that's a true salesperson. My best acquisition guy used to drive, for Interstate Batteries, he used to drive a truck route, and he had to go out and conjure up his own route. He ended up being the top, the number 2 guy in Interstate worldwide. He's also a personal friend that I've had for 20 years. He was ready for a life change. The second guy that I got is a police officer. And the third guy that I got came from selling rubber products that go in cell phones.
Do you post anywhere for those jobs or more through networking?
Yeah, I post. The only ads that I posted on my Facebook page, which drives them back to our website, which is all automated for the intake of their application and resume. They can fill out any one of the jobs that we have available, and then it pops into my Podio system, and when I have the time to look at it, I'll go through, and if I need people, I'll go through and look at who's applied in the last 3 weeks to 6 months, and I'll hit another button, and then the interview process starts. It usually starts with, like if we're hiring a sales guy, they're going to meet with my whole sales staff and see if my sales staff likes them. If they pass those 3, then they're going to meet with Joanne, and if Joanne likes them, then I'll sit down with them.
All right, thank you.
What's your turnaround time from acquisitions to sale?
So we do things a little different. We uncover all the mystery around the property for our investors. Our investors in Portland are lazy, lazy, lazy. You literally have to put in 15-point bold print, click here to see comps, or they're going to call you and ask you, what's the comps, right? Can I throw in dumb there too? That's all right. So we get a contract. Most of the people in Portland are wanting a 30-day close because there's a housing crisis. They need time to find a place. They usually run 40 and even 90 days on average. So what we'll do in the first 7 to 10 days is we get all the inspections. Sewer lines in Portland had a 50-year lifespan. Most of those are overdue. Radon gas is a huge problem up there. Buried oil tanks, same thing. Most of our houses up there aren't new stuff like you guys have here in Phoenix or across the U.S. It's all pretty much 1890s to 1970s. They used oil heating back then, and they buried a lot of it in the yard. So those are hidden costs for all of us as investors up there, right? So we run a $300 inspection for the whole thing. 2 different people go in, they do their thing. Within the first 7 days, we get it under contract, and then we're able to renegotiate with the seller 98% of the time. If we're getting a screaming deal, we won't even waste our time with it. But some of those bills are $20,000, $30,000, and the guy we're selling it to, he wants to know what the deal is with that, right? So we package that up with the nice, pretty little comps when we send the stuff out, so they know everything that's there. We don't actually put the properties out on the market until we're 7 to 10 days out from selling the property to a wholesale buyer. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, so basically you get under contract, you do the inspection for 7 to 10 days, and then you start selling?
Well, no, we'll sell it to 7 to 10 days prior to the actual closing date, which normally is 30 to 45 days out from the day we sign the contract.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. How do you run your weekly team meetings? Do you have everybody come on a go-to meeting, and then they have their numbers reported already? And
no.
No? Is one-on-one?
We're meeting at Starbucks or a restaurant, and we hash it out for about 2 to 3 hours.
2-3 hours. And then everybody report their numbers, and if they don't hit their numbers, what do you do? Or if they do hit their numbers?
We like to publicly embarrass the ones that aren't hitting their numbers in front of the rest of the team. So, but we actually celebrate the ones that do hit their numbers, so.
Okay. And then you use Podio or use everything?
Yep, I use Podio. I have a very dummied down version of it because I like simplicity. I don't like that much automation, and I don't like things when they break. I know there's a lot of Podio platforms out there that have a lot of automation built into them, and guess what happens when it breaks? Your business stops. Don't like that. Stand up if you got a mic. Go ahead.
A question. So initially when you started, before you had a big budget of $500,000, how do you raise your money, and what was the cheapest source of money that you borrowed from people? So did you use hard money, private money, and what's the cheapest you got the money down to?
That's a simple answer. I've had the same hard money lenders for about 15 years.
15 years?
I pay 18% interest, 1-point loan fee, no junk doc fees.
18% interest?
Yep, they loan me between 90 and 100% of my purchase price, and they'll loan me all the rehab if I want it.
Okay.
That's standard hard money rates in Portland.
I see. Okay, awesome.
That's actually cheap.
Thank you.
I actually got a guy now that's loaning me at 14-1. That just happened last week, so.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
So I have a couple of quick questions. What is the criteria for the low income list?
$60,000. In my area, it's $60,000 in income or less.
Okay. And for the general list, like your senior and low income, where do you pull that from? What?
I actually pull it from the credit bureaus. You can get it from ListSource. You can get it from Listability. You can get it from Atom Data. You can get it from a lot of different sources.
Thank you.
Over here.
Yeah.
What do you drive?
What am I driving? Well, did Scott put you up to that? I drive a pickup truck, and I got 7 classic cars in my shop. What's what? Any classic Chevy.
Are you doing 1099s or W-2s for employees?
All my staff is W-2'd. In Oregon, as you guys know by the history, I've had lots of people steal money and burn me, so I hold them all the non-competes, non-circumvents, and so they're all W-2'd. If I did that in Oregon any other way, 1099, I couldn't go after them.
You said you had several business partners who stole money, burned you, and I think you said like 3 times. You have your staff working out of their home. How do you, I know you have the KPIs and the reporting, but how do you keep them from maybe not shoving a couple leads to a competitor or kind of stealing from you since they're not in your office?
Not only do we audit our sales guys after the follow-up appointments, we also audit every single lead every month. So every month we send all the leads in our database to a VA. The VA will tell us if they listed the property. We pulled in who the agent they listed it with. For instance, I had a sales guy that just recently listed a property with his wife, which is a no-no in my area. $30,000 commission went to his wife. We shit-canned him. Right out, it took us a week to find it, and he was gone. So I have fragmented every step of this business where I'm not going to ever put myself in that position again. The main reason those guys stole a lot of stuff was because they had access to the bank accounts. How do I audit the leads? We just export out a Podio and we send it to the VA, and he pulls up everything every month. Yeah, he pulled up county records and see if it deed transferred or it got listed. So, 13 seconds. Who's got one more?
I do.
Where am I due?
Right here.
Okay.
Do you do door knocking in your organization?
When we used to buy at foreclosure auctions, we did. We don't do it now.
Give this man a round of applause. Joe Taylor, everybody. Give him a round of applause.
Thanks, guys.